Welcome back, everyone, to another night of LAS. I'm glad that you guys can join us here. Again, LAS stands for League Angkop Series. This is our Angkop fundraiser. And tonight, joining me once again for the second time to cast our games tonight, we have Barely Noah and Rovi. How are you guys?
Doing well, doing well.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm really excited for all of these league games going on tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. I want to thank all of our viewers who've been with us since the very beginning, who's been tuning in every Monday and Tuesday nights. And I want to welcome all of those who are just tuning in for the first time. Welcome. Again, this is our Angkop fundraiser, and we are playing a tournament with League of Legends. We have our 5-on-5 games. We have 4 teams right now. And as you guys know, this is our fundraiser, and the way we generate funds is through viewership. And so we want to have you guys spread the word, join our channel here, watch these exciting games, listen to our awesome casters, and at the same time, it's for a good cause, right? So again, this is our tournament for LAS. Last night, we had a pretty cool game. Unfortunately for SFC Telecom T1, they were the shorter end of the stick here, but joining me here are 2 representatives from that team. So tell us about those games last night. Where did it go wrong? But it's a good thing that you guys found a way to get your groove back in Game 3. But talk to me about those games.
Yeah, so I feel like our biggest problem last night, I feel like, was chemistry. We were playing with an additional sub that we have never played with before, so it kind of took us a while to get the communication down and the team chemistry down. But after 2 games of trying to get our chemistry in together, that game 3 just happened, and yeah, we managed to avoid the 3-0 sweep, so that was good.
That was great. Yeah, I mean, especially in team games, right? These team games require a lot of team chemistry, team synergy, and those are the things that get you over the edge against these games, right? Sometimes you have one player that really dominates, but it's really the teamwork that really gets you over the hump. So, let's look at this. If we can have production, look at the standings right now. So, before last night, it was a really funny standing. We had a 4-way tie for first place, all 3-3. But based on last night, Team Rocket eked out that early lead here going into our mid-season. What can you say about Team Rocket's victory last night, Rovi, in terms of moving forward?
Hey man, I just gotta say those early ganks are really crazy, and they really, surprise people. I honestly wasn't expecting it, but now we know what they're notorious for. I think, Team Rocket taking that first place seed, honestly, kudos to them. They really played it out really well there, and especially with Meta Awesome, and just him shaking up the meta in general, man, is just, oh man, it's crazy. But it's always good to see that, even though it can get a little competitive, we're all still here for, the great cause and for the fun of it. So kudos to them.
And we're still mid-season, right? We still have 2 more games after tonight. We still have 2 games for each team, and there's still a lot of jockeying for position here. So they might be in the lead, but you never know. SFC Telecom T1 has a really good team. Once you guys get your teamwork going, especially with a new player, right? Who's to say that you guys can overtake Team Rocket? But for tonight's game, we have I'm gonna call them CTPF. Charlie and the Pentakill Factory. It's always a tongue twister for me. But we have CTPF against Joe Momma, the team of our team commissioner here, Key Lime. So who do you guys favor in this matchup? Let's start with you, Barely Noah.
So I think that Joe Momma has the edge here, just because in our first show match, these 2 played each other, and the Pentacle Factory managed to eke out a win versus Joe Momma. So Team Joe Momma has that chip on their shoulder already, like, oh man, these guys beat us once, we're not gonna let them beat us again. So I'm really thinking that Team Joe Momma has kept that first show match loss in the back of their heads and is using that as motivation for tonight's games.
What about you, Ravi? Who do you see really doing well tonight?
Definitely. We again saw, as Barely Noah just mentioned, that CPF and Joe Momma has had that, chance to really, battle it out against each other during that first show match. I really want to see Joe Momma take this one home as well. I know that, they have a lot of tricks up their sleeves. We on SFC T1 have faced them once in the past before, so definitely I'm looking forward to see what they have up their sleeve.
Yeah, and Team Joe Mama has really good players in there, but also CTPF, right? You have Chalet, you have Jolly Boy, right? They're really strong players on their side, but I'm really interested to see how they're gonna perform tonight. And it, I don't want to see it, but what if one team gets a 3-0 tonight? We'll really take advantage of this early mid-season lead. But I'd like to see a 2-1, of course. And we've had 2-1s every game this season, and so I'm looking forward to that. But looks like the game has started. We have our bans and picks going on, and we can talk about that in more detail. So I'd like the two casters to take over and talk about that in more detail. Take it away, casters.
Sure. So first off, we do see the Pentacle Factory targeting out Nelio once again with the Urgot ban. I'm expecting a Swain ban, but I think they might be forgetting about it because I feel like that would be the first thing that anyone would ban out. They banned out the Yorick for Chalet because he is going top, and also the Mordekaiser, which is a flex pick for Chalet and Jolly Boy in the mid and top lane. So we do also see a Malzahar ban coming out targeting Big Buoy. She is notorious for her Malzahar in the mid lane, and we do see there it is, the Swain ban. I knew they didn't forget about it because nobody ever forgets the Swain ban versus Nelio. So we do see a first pick Lux, which I'm thinking goes over to 2 Noobs 1 Cup. He is, if I may say so, the second best Lux in the tournament because my boy on SFC T1, Chips Kaloy, is the first best Lux in this tournament. So shout out to Chips Kaloy. You're awesome. But we also see a set coming out, which can also be flexed because I think Jolly Boy plays set in the mid lane too. So the Pentacle Factor really have all of these flex picks that are coming out for their team, which makes it really hard to have a very good pick ban phase against them because you never know where the champions are going. So we do see the junglers being picked out. Nocturne over on the side of Pentacle Factory, as well as Rammus on the side of Team Joe Mama. So I feel like with the Pentacle Factory's pick so far, they are going to be looking for a bit more engaged, especially with the Set ult and Nocturne ult. But Rammus also has some very good engaged potential as well. So we do see the Xerath coming out for Pentakill Factory, as well as the Heimer for Team Joe Mama. So we do see our mid lane matchup here. I feel like this mid lane is going to be a very farm-centric lane, just because Xerath has all of that range and he can farm safely, as well as Heimerdinger with his turrets. He can just place them down, walk away, sit at the tower, watch a YouTube video, and he still gets farm.
Yes, sir.
So we do see 2 ADC bans coming out from the Pentacle Factory, the Kaisa and the Ezreal. I'm guessing targeting Waka Waka. And Team Joe Mama bans out Neozone's 2 supports, Nautilus and Leona. We see the Draven coming out for the Pentakill Factory, which is one of Mother Duck's best ADCs. We see the Xayah coming out from Team Joe Mama. And I think they still need the top lane because they did pick that Lux support for the bot lane, so they still need their top laner. And we do see that Shen. Nelio has been playing a lot of Shen. He's been practicing this champion, and I think he pulled it out against SFC T1 a couple weeks ago. So from first-hand experience, that is a very scary Shen up there in the top lane, and we do see the Nami coming out for the Pentakill Factory. So, with the Pentakill Factory, they do have a good mix of engage and disengage. They have the Nocturne ult, they have the Set ult, plus they also have the Nami wave in case the Shen or the Rammus decide to engage on the Draven.
Yeah, absolutely. Last week we saw Charlie and the Pinnacle Factory really take in that early round aggression, that early game aggression. So this team comp, tell me what is going to mean for what we could possibly see from CPF going this time around.
Yeah, I think that for Team CPF, they're gonna want to stay safe in the early game, just because they do have a lot of scaling champions. That Draven, that Xerath, also Set gets scary in the late game as well as Nocturne. But also, Team Joe Mama kind of also gets scary in the late game too, with the Zaya and the Shen and the Heimerdinger. I feel like one thing to keep in mind here on the Pentakill Factory is that they need to be wary of the Shen ultimate, because that ultimate is such a game changer, and it has like a global global range. So he can protect anyone who's about to die and join the fight in an instant. So I'm pretty excited to see the impact that Neilio Shen has on this game.
Yeah, I'm also looking forward to Neilio just nail that Shen. Like, my goodness, like you said, we faced him head on once against this team. And man, I'm getting Vietnam flashbacks, man. Like, geez. But I think Charlie and the Pinnacle Factory really just, if they can just keep that team comp, if they could just keep their composure straight, and make sure to cover objectives as much as they can, I'm pretty sure that, that Shen could come in handy as well. So we'll see how the game plays out here in a bit.
Yeah. Also, I think Set has a really important job of keeping Shen in top lane, just because Set does have that interrupt. So if Shen decides to ult in, Neilio decides to ult in, Chale does have the opportunity to interrupt the channel of the Shen ult and prevent him from joining the fight in the bot lane.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just excited to really get into this game because, man, having the opportunity to really just play with these teams and to see what their team comps are like. I know we got a little bit of a spoiler of it during the show match, and I just hope that these guys will be able to just come back strong, come back just the way they were when they first faced off. And we're really looking forward to a really good matchup here coming up.
Yep. Also, I don't know about you, Rovi, but I'm kind of using this time to, scout out the competition, because, SFC T1 does play the Pentakill Factory next week. So I'm just trying to, study the game, study the tactics, and study how the Pentakill Factory play this week. So, to give us an edge next week.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have the videos on demand. I think I'm 90% certain on that, but maybe our production crew might say otherwise. However, it won't hurt to see what their strats are coming out. I know this may sound very, very sinister, but I mean, that's what we're here for. I'm sure all the other teams are watching this matchup too, trying to prepare their team comp as well.
Exactly. I mean, we're just trying to give the people the best League of Legends matches that we can. So yeah. So we are in game. Let's see if anybody does go for that level 1 invade, that level 1 fight that we unfortunately on SFC T1 experienced last night.
Pain.
Alright, so we do see all 5 gathering on the Pentakill factory in the same bush. But it does seem like Team Joe Momma are spread out, not looking to invade. We do see Shen in the top lane. We see Rammus trying to go into the enemy jungle to get some deep wards down. So I think CTPF is backing off. They're not looking to do that invade. So this will just be a regular start for the teams tonight. Turn on the scoreboard. Cool. So just going over the items a bit, we do see that Dorn Shield coming out for the Shen. So that kind of tells me that he is looking for relatively safe laning phase versus the set. You know, that Dorn Shield gives him a little bit more sustain in lane, so he can get out the farm better versus the set. Do you see some early harass coming out from Nelia there? Taking that sustained trade. Xerath also doing some harassing with his long-range abilities. We see some good harass in the bot lane on Neozone. She did almost die. We see the taunt coming out from Shen. Oh!
Oh, Neilio
almost loses his life. He just walks out.
You know, something I wanted to point out too, it's not the first time these teams have faced each other, and usually the first game is what they use to feel out the game and see what other strats they might play out. Do we think that they're going to pull out their best strats here in the first game, or do we think we're going to see that in the later games, in games 2 and 3?
So I think, we do see a snare onto Neozone, and some harass, but I think that, you know, I feel like these two teams have, you know, like you said, played each other, so these two teams do know each other very well. But I'm sure that, you know, these teams have also been working on a few little spicy things. We do see a Rammus gank with a Shen taunt along with the Rammus taunt.
2v1 on Chale. Neilio almost down.
Flashes out and survives. Wow, Chale almost turned that around. He almost took out Neilio, even with that jungler gank. So I would say that's a win for the Pentakill Factory right there. So we do see the Nocturne heading towards mid lane. Just saying hi to the Heimerdinger.
Neozone looking very low here. Is he going to go down? Mother Duck will be there to protect their duckling and live to see another day.
Nice. That Ignite was burned out from two noobs though, so they will not have that available for any upcoming engages, but the bot lane from Team CTPF are very low. We might be looking for a dive here. Two noobs hits the snare under tower with Waka Waka. We're securing the kill, flashing out to survive the tower. Good first blood going over to Team Momma. So we do see after that kill, we do see the Xayah already has her Noon Quiver, along with some AP on the Lux. So I feel like Team Momma is looking to try to snowball their lead that they got from that first blood over in the bot lane to try to take control of this game. The Xayah is up almost double the Draven's farm too. So Team Momma has a very commanding lead in the bot lane. We do see some more top lane fighting from Chale and Nelio. We like to call those wet noodle fights because usually nothing comes out of them. They're just wet noodles.
Oh yeah. I think putting Nelio and Chale in the top lane really, puts the best against the best, right?
Exactly.
And I think doing this 1v1 will really just show, who's better and who's less better. But still, it's still early game, so who knows what we'll be able to see on the top lane.
So we do see Rammus tried to gank for bot lane, but was spotted out with the ward. Ward saves lives. Ooh, that was a very big wet noodle coming out from Chale in the top lane, almost taking out Nelio again. But Nelio surviving, just farming under tower, farming safely. Chale did see that Key Lime ganked bot, so he knew he was relatively safe up there to push up in the tower. Very good on Chale for using that information to his advantage and pushing to Shen's tower so he gets his farms and that. Also, now that I think about it, this bot lane matchup for CPF is kind of a little bit hard, just because when Draven catches his axes, you can see them on the ground, right? So all Lux has to do is aim her snare where the axes land, and Draven is either forced to take the snare or not catch his axes. So that's a very good Lux pick into the Draven right there.
Very nice now.
Do see some more farming. That bot lead is getting a little bit smaller. We also see the top lane CS lead in favor of Chale, just because he has been pushing Neil under tower and crashing the wave. Another wet noodle fight at top lane. If I was Key Lime, I would go top to help out his top lane. Just because he has been pushed all game. He might have a ward, but Rammus is very good at ganking on top of wards, just because he does have that speed boost given by the power ball, and he can just jump in and taunt. Even if you do see him coming, you have very little time to react to the Rammus gang. And just like I mentioned before, Draven tried to catch his axe, and Lux just stuck that snare on top of it. And we do see the Rammus gang coming in.
It's like a 2v1 against Chale.
Oh,
Nelio going down.
Nelio forced to flash out. Chale fighting the Rammus. Oh, the Shen ults, the shield with the taunt, and Chave falls. Very good gank from Team Joe Mama. It did look like Chale was gonna be able to turn that gank around, but that Shen ult saving Rammus's life in that gank right there.
I think another thing to point out too is that both of these teams really like to play it dangerously close. But of course, playing it dangerously close is a 50-50 game. You can either forfeit that or you can win that. So either which way, I think there's going to be an interesting team fight coming up here pretty soon once we start getting into the nitty-gritty of it.
Yes, so I am looking to see where Nocturne will try to gank. I don't think Nocturne has not made his presence known, but he does get a flash out from Big Buoy there in the mid lane, and unfortunately takes a lot of damage from the tower, or from the Heimerdinger turrets that Big Buoy has placed in the mid lane. You might see Team Joe Mama looking to go for the Rift Herald. Their top lane, Nelio has gone over to the bot lane just so that the two bot laners can help out Key Lime securing that Rift Herald, just so they have more bodies over there in that side of the area, or that side of the map. And we do see them secure the first Rift Herald. Well, Chow just barely, by the skin of his teeth, gets out of that with the help of the Nocturne gank and the Paranoia.
Shorty going down.
Yeah, man, two noobs on that Lux, man. He's really good. Like I said, he's the second best Lux in my opinion in this tournament, and he is showing it so far in this game by getting his AD carry ahead. Oh, we do see the flash, which I think was unnecessary from Mother Duck, but he did secure the kill onto Nelio. So I guess you can call that worth. Very good tidal wave coming out from Nami too. So fine, Team Joe Mama, I would send my bot lane back to bot, just because Dragon is spawning in less than a minute, so it's good to have more bodies on that side of the map to prepare for that Dragon. See another wet noodle fight at top. Oh, we see Chale ulting, Nelio with the shield, and he gets out.
Turret plating will fall soon.
See Team Joe Mama doing the dragon. Once again, two noobs hitting that snare. He does not miss, ladies and gentlemen. And because of that snare that he hit on the enemy jungler, their jungler Keyline was able to secure that first dragon. And they do send the Rift Herald bot lane, so they might be able to get some tower plating, but just barely missed the window to get tower plating gold. Unfortunate. So it is still a relatively close game, just about a 1,000 gold lead on the side of Joe Mama. The game is still early, so we'll see how the Pentakill Factory come back from this early deficit. So looking at the items, we do see a couple of built items on both sides. We have that that turbo chem tank on the Rammus to try to make him go even more faster, give him more gas on the ganks. And we do see the Blade of the Ruin King on the set to try to help him work on those wet noodle fights at the top lane. And also the Mortal Shield Bow coming out from a Mother Duck. We do see the Xayah ult to try to avoid the Nocturne gank, but unfortunately Nocturne is very sticky and kills Waka Waka with that paranoia. Oh, Chale taking tons of damage from the Heimerdinger turrets. Oh, Big Booey just missed him with her Hextech rockets. And that flash from two noobs. Oh, that damage coming out from Jolly Boy. We see the flash taunt from the shed. And takes out Jolly Boy, unfortunately.
See another fight going on Shorty here.
You see the teleport coming out from the set to try to protect his mid tower. You see the dash out from Melio. Shorty getting kited by Waka Waka, and the Rammus engage, and the taunt.
Down. Chale half health now. Charlie's gonna live to see another day.
Oh,
On Chale almost down to quarter health now.
does manage to save that tower though. Key Lime forced to flash out from taking tower damage. But Waka Waka still throwing her feathers at that tower. We also see Big Booey working on the top lane tower. So it looks like Team Joe Momma have prioritized the tower objectives and just like objectives in general around the map. Which is very good because the objectives help them control the areas of the map too. That binding almost hits Neozone. The Neozone dodges out. We do see the Pentakill Factory working on the Rift Herald. I think they'll be able to get it. Key Lime is nowhere near. Nowhere near it. So yeah, they do manage to get it, and Chale picks that up.
See all 5 teams here, or all 5 members of the team here in mid.
Well, they do drop the Rift Herald. That was a very early drop. I think Chale thought he had a ward. We do see the engage, and then the disengage, and then the engage again from the Rammus, just jumping in.
Down. Great comeback here to see from Team Joe Momma here, and what a great performance to see. I honestly thought, CPF was going to take that, but I think Joe Momma has this one in the bag. They're going to take down the dragon over here. See if Shorty gets it, and Shorty's just going to get hit all the way.
Unfortunately, could not secure the dragon.
Charlie gonna bully Key Lime here a little bit.
Another wet noodle fight.
Charlie almost down here, down to a fifth of his health almost.
We do see Key Lime looking for him, but he cannot find him.
Play nice now.
Can I just say that the Dragon Trainer Heimerdinger towers are super freaking adorable? Like they're little tiny dinosaurs. Like that's awesome. So some more farming. We do see some more items coming out for both teams. We do see that Sunderer on Shorty's Nocturne. We see the Luden's Tempest on Jolly Boy Xerath. And we do see the Shrelias on Neozone 2, as well as the Ludens on Two Noobs, the Gale Force on Waka Waka, and the Leandries from Big Boo. So these teams are starting to get their items in. So you know, these little wet noodle skirmishes are going to be turning into more fights as these two teams go further and further into the game and get more farm and gold. See, look at that little dragon egg. Like, that's adorable. Like, come on. How could you kill those?
Oh, Neozone getting targeted here. Neozone down. Here comes
Waka
Duck
Waka.
down.
Waka Waka using that Zaya ult to dodge that Nami tidal wave there. Nelio getting stunned by the Xerath, but Key Lime able to turn into Sonic and just chase.
Forcing the kill on Jolly Boy here. Key Lime and Nelio going down onto it. Tower diving even.
And because bot lane, Waka Waka, you're tanking,
Waka,
bro!
Oh,
a double kill out for Jolly Boy. Joe Mama, why were you guys tanking towers? You guys had minions. Those 2 kills were unnecessary. Why?
Oh, here comes Nelio getting bullied here by Charlie. Charlie and Mother Duck trying to go for the chase.
Oh, another wet noodle.
Another wet noodle fight right there.
Oh, look at those baby dragons. Those are so cute.
Performance.
No, don't kill the baby dragons. No, they're so young. Oh, I don't know what that was.
I don't know what that was either, but I'll take it. Do you see Big Weeho almost down? There we go.
And Jolly Boy with the snipe.
Jolly Boy with his Xerath snipe.
Down,
Another skill shot from Jolly Boy.
He said Kobe and hit every single one on Big Buoy.
Now they were able to get that bottom tower down to less than half of its health, so I think that might be their one gateway into really just breaking into that base and probably even stealing the game, but you know, it's still anybody's game at this point.
And we do see that the Pentacle Factory have placed all of those boards near the Dragon Pit to try to prepare for Dragon. It is up in 10 seconds, so they do have that that damage or that vision priority over in that area. Chale killing some more wards to try to deny Team Joe Mama vision, but we do see Key Lime going in, or maybe not going in, deciding not to go in. But they do get some of that vision back in the area with that pink ward there and the pixel bush.
Looks like Chale is going to engage the dragon here. And Joe Mama's team is falling just as well, and here we comes Shorty down to half health.
Oh,
Shorty
that
getting
engaged from
3
Kilo.
kills.
Oh, that's Zaya ult.
Mother Duck almost down as well. Mother Duck down. Can they get the Penta? Will they ace? Jolly Boy sitting in the bush. Well, actually, Joe Mama may be getting the ace here.
There it is.
And there's the ace.
That Zaya ult was huge. That pullback on those feathers just decimated 3 or 4 of the players on the Pentakill factory. Great job, Waka Waka.
Yeah, now we're going to see about a 6.5k gold differential between Joe Mama and Charlie and the Pentakill factory, and they're going to go for the Baron.
And everybody is down or is respawning, so this Baron is relatively free for Team Joe Mama. Nocturne in the area, but won't get there in time, so that's a free Baron coming out for Team Joe Mama. So we do see the reset and the soul going over to Team Joe Mama. They also have the Baron, so they're looking really strong, especially with an 8k gold lead right now. If I was them, I would be looking to use that Baron buff in the lanes to try to get some lanes pushing and to try to siege into the Pentakill Factory's base.
Ooh. Zera starting to get a little more powerful by the second here.
Well, we see Rammus jumping in.
Ooh, Neozone going down without a fight.
Keylime just keeps getting all of these huge picks on the Pentakill Factory right here in this game. I think this Rammus this Rammus pick is playing out just how the Team Joe Mama had hoped it would. Just jumping in, securing the picks, and taunting whoever is there.
Oh, Shorty
The
down.
Lux with the snipe.
Oh my goodness. Charlie getting down to half health, gonna get bullied by Neilio here.
Oh, the shield coming out, able to save his life. That was much less of a wet noodle fight. Jolly Boy does come out with the snipe, but 2 noobs!
Jolly Boy!
Unfortunately dodges. He said, 2 noobs, you sniped my team, so I'm gonna snipe you. That was a retribution snipe from Jolly Boy coming out there.
Things starting to look a little dire for Charlie and the Pinnacle Factory over here, as we are starting to take care of the objectives here on their base. Charlie almost going down to, listen, half health. Keylime coming in for the rescue. Charlie almost down, but will get inhibited.
Oh, we see the paranoia coming out onto Big Buoy, but Big Buoy just flashes out to safety, and Shorty just backs off.
Now this is just going to look like a defense strat for Charlie and the Pinnacle Factory, as we are starting to kill all of the objectives here on the base, and things starting to look a little dire again for Charlie and the Pinnacle Factory. I'm sure they have to play a defense, freeze lanes, and even push lanes at this point as Team Joe Mama begins to reset and recoup for another attack.
Exactly, and all of the inhibs are down on Team the Pentakill Factory, so they are going to get all of those super minions funneling into their base, but they do have that wave clear coming out from Xerath, so Let's see if they can use that gold that is funneling into their base to their advantage and try to mount a comeback. Once again, Chale clearing out the wards. Keyline trying to look for an engage, but decides to let the man live and kill a ward of his own. Luck snare almost hitting a couple people there.
Oh, shorty.
Snipe.
Jeez. All right, here comes Joe Momma in for the attack, and it looks like things are slowly starting to become to their advantage. Keelam going into their base, going in for Mother Duck. Chale almost down as well, but Keelam is gonna take it, and Keelam is down.
That is 2 down.
Oh, Nexus going down, and there it is.
There's the
game
GG.
for J.
Dang, that was a very exciting game. A lot of wet noodle fights, a lot of small skirmishes, but the Team Joe Momma coming out with a victory for Game 1. Good job, Team Joe Momma.
Yeah, good job, Team Joe Momma. They kind of wore them down there until the very end, but I think the halfway point of the game kind of knew where it was headed, and it was a really good job there by Team Joe Momma. Right now, we're gonna take a quick break. We're going to be playing an Angkop video. As again, this is our LAS League Angkop series, and this is our fundraiser for Angkop. And to find out more about Angkop, we're gonna be playing this video to give you more information about it. So, production, take it away.
Angkop, a ministry, a mission, building the church of the poor, and sharing Christ's transforming love. Angkop is Couples for Christ, armed in carrying out its core values of pro-God, pro-family, pro-life, and pro-poor, with the key principle that Christ is the center of the work and must be proclaimed in word and in deed. Angkop USA helps transform the lives of poor children and their families, helping restore hope and dignity through education sponsorship programs, humanitarian relief, community development, and social development programs. Angkop believes that education of the poor child and his family is key to poverty alleviation. Angkop also provides humanitarian relief through medical missions and is expanding its mission work to Mexico and Central America.
At the very end of our medical mission for San Mateo. So there was these 2 ladies that come to me, and one of them comes straight and says, "We have been waiting you guys for so long, and you guys are God light that we have been waiting for a very, very long time."
My name is Augie.
And Sharon De Leon.
And we are Angkop advocates from Virginia, USA. We love Angkop because it equates to loving our neighbor.
We love Angkop because it's an opportunity and avenue for us to be like Christ to others.
And loving our neighbor is our expression of our love for the Lord.
Angkop USA seeks to forge partnerships with individuals and organizations that share its vision of helping the poorest of the poor and transforming lives. With Angkop, you can demonstrate a tangible, long-lasting impact on the life of a child, their family, and ultimately their community. Together, we can transform lives, one student at a time. Sponsor a child today.
Take game number one, only...
Hello and welcome back to the SciStorm Esports Network. I'm your host Chickaman here for your weekly esports results and highlights. This week we've got tons of League of Legends, some big Counter-Strike results, and my personal top 2 esports. So let's get into it. Today I want to start off with my favorite moment from the weekend, the Smash Summit Finals. Super Smash Bros. Melee holds a special place in my heart as my introduction to esports, and it's great to see it still going strong after all these years. This was a fantastic tournament through and through, but the finals, they were something special.
It had to be this way.
I'm losing my brain.
Crowd going crazy. Chant from Mango.
This is the new rivalry of the...
Oh. God, he delays the up air. Oh, the shield drop.
Zane dropping the play.
That's it.
Mango winning his first ever Smash Summit.
And the biggest prize.
Mango has been one of the top Melee competitors for so long. It's great to see him taking the win there, and what a gracious move by Zane to go for the hug after losing. You just gotta love that. Since we're starting with some old esports that are close to my heart, let's check out what StarCraft has going on this week. The GSL quarterfinals played. Bunny, Trap, Dark, and Parting are set to play in the semifinals.
The natural. This is the type of game that Zaun will think about for the rest of his life. He had this 100%. Yeah. He was absolutely ahead and just Parting clawed his...
All right, we're all warmed up now. Let's jump into some big esports with lots of action going on. League of Legends ran the gambit this week. Pretty much every region continuing to work through their round robins. We're gonna smash right through these, so buckle up and enjoy the ride.
It's your
LCS has 100 Thieves in first place with 2 weeks left to play.
But there's not enough damage in the tank. FlyQuest cannot contest, and Evil Geniuses will finally bring their win streak to an end. It was impressive to see. They went 4-0, but it stops here as Evil Geniuses will take them down in 29 minutes.
They want the KDAs too, Captain Flowers. They're looking for extra kills.
Oh, they're adding insult to injury. Danny's in the stopwatch. Jizuke's in a stopwatch. Vinskaren's in a stopwatch. Stop the damn game.
The LCK has 4 more weeks of play. Gen G Esports currently on top.
Zoning the rest of the team, and he's got such a massive shield, it doesn't matter. Gumayusi flashing into the enemy team. There's the death sentence, and it will be that for Beryl. A double kill for Keria. Penta. Can we get the Penta going for the Thresh? I feel like he definitely deserves it at this point, but we're going to look for the kick. It's not going to be good, but it does not matter. The Nexus will go down in 23 minutes.
In the LEC, both Fnatic and Rogue are on top with tied records and 2 more weeks to go.
coming out. It's cancelled. Ripple on the front line. Reckless. You got to open up. You got to do the main thing.
range right now. He's looking for Niski. There's a couple of kills. 3 against 3 once again. Reckless flashing forward. Reckless dies. Flashbacks to double lift. You can't do that on a Vayne, Reckless. No matter what you do, Fnatic will find you. Reckless dies. Caps dies. Jankos dies. Mickey dies. G2 dies. Fnatic strike.
And with this amount of HP, with Adam on the front line with a wave, Fnatic could just very well end the game right here, right now. He doesn't care about these towers. Upset is still alive. Can Wonder save the game?
He pops his stopwatch, but his Nexus towers will go pop. Not much that Wonder can do in this situation. Fnatic claim a 2-0 versus G2.
The LPL has Edward Gaming on top with 3 more weeks of play.
Ends up ruining the play that Qingtian managed to salvage for his team. Now FBX can rinse and repeat. Hook goes wide, Indigo double flay onto the squad. Health bar's getting low for top esports. Tian gets one. Now he's an Olaf. The low health bar's gonna help him out. Knight is on the back line, but he just doesn't have any damage. He can't threaten anything. And LWX is gonna 1v1 him here. The Qs should come on through. Knight is rooted in place. Will dash out to safety. He survives at very least. Jumps in. You know, valiant effort, but he just...
In the PCS, it's PSG Talon in first place, undefeated with only 3 weeks left.
Find nearly enough targets.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for joining us here in our LAS tournament. We are hopping into Game 2. Game 1 was taken by Team Joe Momma very convincingly, wouldn't you say, Barely Noah?
Yes, definitely. It was very, very good control of the map, control of the objectives coming out from Team Joe Momma, and the Pentacle Factory just couldn't keep up with all of the control that Team Joe Momma had across the map.
Rovi, what do you think it's a good adjustment that Pentakill needs to do here to even it up?
I think a really good adjustment that they could do is really, because I feel like the thing that really led Joe Momma to the victory is just focusing those objectives really hard and getting all that vision in the jungle as well. I think one thing that CPF can work on is definitely just focusing those objectives as well. We saw that they took an early dragon, but that was just about it. Other than that, it was down to the lanes, and they had to defend those lanes really hard. So I think that if they can just make that adjustment, they can really just bring it home.
Yeah, let's see if they actually make those adjustments. We're actually in the game now. They've already made their picks and bans, and so Barely Noah, what stands out here in terms of out of the ordinary picks here that you see?
So we do see the Shen ban coming out against Nelio. He did play it in Game 1, and he did have that impact in the game with his global ultimate, saving Waka Waka multiple times, saving Keyline multiple times. So that's a very good ban for the Pentakill Factory, but he decides to go for his Tahm Kench, which he has been playing. He has been in the lab with Tahm Kench, so I'm pretty excited to see that. We also see Team Joe Momma leaving up the Malzahar, hoping that it goes to Big Buoy, but it was stolen out by Chale. So we'll see how he performs on that champion as well. We also see the Nunu jungle coming out for Shorty Shorty, the Yasuo mid coming out from Jolly Boy, and the Braum support coming out from Neozone. So that kind of tells me that they're going to be focusing on getting Jolly Boy ahead. Just because Yasuo as a champion, he can use his ultimate ability off of anyone's knockup. So Nunu has a knockup with his snowball, and Braum also has a knockup with his ultimate too. So once those two ultimates go off, then Yasuo has the ability to chain those ultimates and do some disgusting damage to the other team. So I'm really excited for that Yasuo in the mid lane.
Great. So I'm gonna be joining you guys to cast for this second game to give a newbie perspective and just some newbie questions that some of us are, been yearning to ask as we listen to the stream. Sometimes there are terminologies that get thrown out that I'm wondering like, hey, what does that mean? And so forgive me if I'm gonna be asking these really low level questions, but I'll be joining you for those times. So looking at these 5 players here, or 5 characters or heroes that they've selected. So they usually line it up as the top one, Malzahar, is usually the top lane, correct?
Yes.
And then it goes mid lane, Nunu.
It goes jungle. It goes top, and then jungle, which is like the Nunu and the Amumu. Then it goes mid lane, which is the Yasuo and the Heimerdinger. And then the bot lane, or bottom lane, bot for short because we're lazy, which is the Draven and the Kaisa. And then the support at the bottom, which is Braum and Leona.
Gotcha. Rovi, so what are the characteristics of a good character to use for the top lane, typically?
Honestly, I think for a top laner, I think definitely being tanky, but as well as having damage as well. Like, it's really hard to balance those two because more often than not, when you are buying, you can only have one or the other, and it's really hard to build both. So that's why there are certain champs, for certain top laners, especially, who are balanced in both damage and tankiness.
Gotcha. For jungle, what are the good? So typically, explain to me what a jungle's position is and what it does. What are their responsibilities in the game?
So as a jungler, your main job is to clear out the neutral minions in the jungle. That's where your main EXP and gold come from. And also as a jungler, your other job is to gank or ambush. It's called a gank. To gank the lanes, because you're coming from the jungle where there's fog of war, right? So they don't know where you are unless you have wards. That's why I say wards save lives, right? Because wards allow you to spot out the enemy jungler and help you prepare for any ambushes or ganks that the enemy jungler might have for your lane. Like we saw last game with Key Lime on the Rammus. Rammus does have an ability that lets him turn into a super speedball. So even if you do have wards that spot out the Rammus, because he is going super speed, you have less reaction time, even if you do see him with the ward. That was good for the Pentakill Factory to ban out the Rammus, just because he did have a big impact in the last game too. So we are in game. We do see the Pentakill Factory once again, all 5 gathering, and we might see an invade. This is exciting. Team Joe Mama, not everybody's there. We see the flash coming out from the Leona. And the snowball coming out from Shorty does get Waka Waka, but decides not to follow up. And
Early Noah, tell me about this invade. What is it? Yeah. Why do people do an invade, and what is it for, and what advantages do you get?
So basically, at the beginning of the game, there's these 2 buffs that the jungler takes to get them kind of rolling in the jungle. And usually the bot lane, so like the bot and the support, usually help out the jungler get these buffs. This is called a leash, and as we can see here, this is the blue buff that they are taking. So there's a blue buff over on the left side, and then red buff on the right side of the map. So here is the red buff on Team Pentakill Factory's side. So the blue buff gives you an increased cooldown reduction on your abilities and increased mana regen. And then the red buff gives you increased health regen, and it also applies damage over time to anything that you hit. So the blue buff allows you to sustain in the jungle and then the red buff allows you to do more damage to the things that you're killing. So with an invade, you know, just because these buffs are very important to get the jungler started, sometimes teams would invade the other side to try to deny that good start for the other jungler. Also, people might just do it just for kills, like you saw last night. We got invaded on by Team Rocket, and they got like 3 kills out of it. So like even at like 2 minutes, they were already like 3 kills ahead of us, and it was very hard to come back from that really early lead. So those are basically why invades happen, just for the lead that they give you.
Hey Rovi, so we talked about, and you guys have mentioned it many times, even the people in the chat, they talk about wards save lives, right? Talk to me about these wards. How do you, is it an item that you purchase, or is it a spell that it's casted? Talk to me about wards.
Yeah, so wards are something that you actually start out with in your inventory. And they basically grant you vision into the river, they grant you vision wherever you place it. Within a diameter, I forget what the diameter is, but it allows you to prepare for ganks and for, you know, any other things that the enemy team might be preparing. So for example, sometimes a team comm would be prep dragon or prep rift. Basically means to place like wards around the area just in case a champ might be, or an enemy champ might be coming in to slay them. And basically, you know, these wards, again, they save lives just because they protect, you know, that vision within the jungle. And usually that's the support's role.
So do you have finite number of wards that you can use, or do you need to purchase more, or is that a cooldown by a specific champion?
It's cooldown. The wards are on cooldown, and you can only spawn so many within a certain time. And then the wards also expire, I think, after, I think it's like 3 minutes.
So I'm guessing these wards are invisible, but can provide vision in the map, correct?
Right, yeah.
So on the other end, how would you deal with opponents' wards then?
Right, so later in the game, from a support's perspective, there's usually Spell Thief's Edge, which gives you 3 wards through that item. And from that, you can then buy what's called an Oracle Lens. And if you look at the game prior, when they had that red radar going around, that basically reveals where the enemy wards are. And you can just, you know, destroy those wards for, I believe, a 90 gold bonus.
I think it's. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the thing is. But there are also, if you look now, there's also red wards. We just saw a Mumu place one in the bottom side jungle, and red wards allow you to see invisible wards that the enemy has placed out. So like that also allows you to destroy enemy wards too.
Gotcha. These are very informative for us who's just really learning the game. So tell us what's going on here. I guess it's just a pretty even matchup here. Everybody's just farming.
Yep, just farming. We do see wet noodle fights once again coming out of top lane. But we do see Team Momma trying to secure and successfully securing the first dragon. So with dragons, there are 4 elemental dragons. There's Inferno Drake, there's Ocean Drake, there's Cloud Drake, and then there's Mountain Drake. So depending on the drakes that you kill, they give buffs. So Inferno Drake gives like damage and ability power buffs. Mountain Drake gives like health buffs. Ocean Drake, I think, does ability cooldown, and I think Cloud Drake gives movement speed. I am not entirely sure on Cloud and Ocean, which is really bad because I'm a jungler. But yeah, they give certain buffs, and once a team gets to 4 dragons that they've killed, they get a dragon soul. So that's also something that provides a really big buff that the teams can also play for.
So would you say that these dragons are basically the map objectives that you can do to really help your team?
Yes, correct.
Are there other? Go ahead.
Yeah. So I was gonna say there are others. So the dragon is on the bot side of the map in that pit. But also there's another pit at the top side of the map, and that's usually where the Rift Herald spawns before 20 minutes, and then at 20 minutes the Baron spawns. So the Rift Herald just allows you to destroy towers faster, and then Baron allows your minions to get buffs. I think your minions get like a range and HP buff, so then it allows you to siege the enemy towers better and easier. So we do see once again Keylime securing that Rift Herald, as we were talking about it at top lane. So far this early game, Keylime has been doing a very good job. They did get secure the first dragon, and they did get the first Rift Herald, which is really unusual because usually Nunu as a champion is supposed to be the one taking the early objectives, just because he does have a skill that allows him to do extra true damage to the jungle monsters. So it's very unusual for me to see that Nunu has not been taking these early objectives, and Keylime has. We do see Chale taking the Rift Scuttler. So what the Rift Scuttler is basically a jungle monster that basically doesn't fight you back, it just runs away from you. Poor guy. But usually when you kill the Rift Scuttler, it provides a sigil area where it's like a little circular area that gives you vision and also gives you movement. It gives your team movement speed if you walk over it.
Rovi, tell me about this terminology that Barely Noah keeps saying over and over in this cast. And I know it's pointed out by the chat here. What does wet noodle mean?
So yeah, wet noodle fighting is basically you damage them, you keep fighting, but nothing really happens out of it. You don't really get anything out of it other than just harassment and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's like if you're in a pool, right, and like you have like noodles and like you just smack each other with the noodles, it doesn't hurt, So it's just a wet noodle fight.
So that's where it comes from. Now I have a very clear imaginary description of this.
Yeah, just imagine Neilio and Chale just in a pool, just like smacking each other with wet noodles. Oh, we do see an ultimate coming out from Leona, but the Braum blocks it. Keylime unfortunately misses his bandage toss, but does get the flash ultimate. Nunu coming in with the counter gank, and the Absolute Zero coming out from the Nunu, securing first blood onto Trillion. We do see the teleport coming in from Chale too. So all of the Pentakill Factory's members are in that bottom lane, so that is a free dragon for the Pentakill Factory.
What a great response from Charlie and the Pentakill Factory, especially when it comes to just really, because not even 1 second, and these guys already have slain 3 people and went straight to Dragon. So honestly, great teamwork, great team cohesiveness that we're seeing here from CPF.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Mother Duck and Neozone are not going to get greedy, even though that tower plating is very close to dying. So for the towers, if you can see, the tower health bar is divided into 5. So each time one of those 5 get destroyed, the team that destroys them gets bonus gold for destroying those tower platings. So we see Rift Herald being dropped at the bottom lane. So yeah, the Rift Herald basically just charges at the tower and just kills 2 tower plates. So it provides like an instant like gold income for killing towers. So we also see Chale pushing up at the top lane. He will be able to get 1 more tower plate. Rift Herald is spawning in a minute, so we'll be looking to see if any of the teams decide to drop some wards in that area to try to get some vision on there to try to secure that Rift Herald. So with the pink wards, they allow you to see the other enemy's wards, but they are visible to the naked eye. So it's easy to kill them. We do see the knockup coming out from Nunu. Oh, the huge damage from the Absolute Zero with Jolly Boy living, dying. But yeah, we saw there that the snowball from Nunu knocked up Big Buoy, and that allowed Jolly Boy to cast his ultimate on the Heimerdinger. So that's also one of the things to look out for in this game, just because with 2 knockups on the Pentacle Factory, they do have that Yasuo damage coming out easier. Oh, the ultimate coming out from Braum. Trillion ults to disengage, and she gets out with her life. Good disengage coming out from Team Joe Momma. So we do see the Pentakill Factory securing that Rift Herald. So that's what I'm mainly looking for in Shorty's Nunu, just because Nunu does have an easier time killing those large jungle monsters right there. And we do see Chale dropping the Rift Herald, trying to secure the first tower for the Pentakill Factory. So he does get that tower. We see a Moo coming up in the area though, but again, that knockup from the snowball from Shorty just allows Jolly Boy to come in and use his ultimate on Big Buoy, killing her once again.
So Rovi, with the gold lead here by CTPF, what is the advantage of having a gold lead? I know you purchase items with it, but does it help you in any other way?
Well, allowing you to have a more cohesive build in general will help you against the other team, especially if you have the gold advantage, because for example, there are some builds that require you to buy like some really expensive items, right? When you do build those items, these items will give you ability power or AP, they'll give you mana, they'll give you health, and overall will just boost your champion more than what the other team can purchase at the present moment.
Yeah, so basically just having a gold lead allows you to buy better items, like in real life. Like if you had $100, you know, like somebody with $500 can buy a better TV than you, right? So it's kind of like in League of Legends. You know, if somebody has, you know, like 500 gold and the other person only has 100 gold, then the items that the 500 gold person has is a lot better. Oh, we do see the huge ultimate coming out from a Moo with the Nunu.
Down, Jolly Boy about to go down as well. And there's a free dragon for Team Joe Momma.
That was a painful engagement there for CTPF.
So Neozone got caught out a little bit in the beginning, so she had to blow her ultimate early to try to keep her alive. So it wasn't available for the actual fight, but Jolly Boy did get a huge ultimate off, but unfortunately his damage was not enough for all of the members of Team Joe Momma.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Interesting to note here is that the gold gap between both of the teams is actually, thinning out. So again, I think we're still pretty evenly matched. Both teams have one tower down each, so
yeah. So the gold lead is back to being more even. The Pentakill Factory was up by a couple of thousand gold, but with that fight and with those towers that Team Joe Momma secured, they are back into the game. We see an engage from Nelio, and he does have the ability to eat Chale, and Nelio coming out with a solo kill onto Chale. So we do see a couple of items that flash, engage from Trillion, unfortunately not connecting. But with all of this fighting and all of this gold and objectives, we do see a couple of items coming out from both teams. We do see the Frostfire Gauntlet coming out from Nelio, which just allows him to slow Chale when they're in a fight. Chale has the Leandri's Anguish, which deals extra damage over time on all of his spells. And for the junglers, both of them opted for the Sunfire Aegis, which just does extra magic damage to the area around them. And again, for Big Buoy in the mid lane on the Heimer, we also see a Leandri's Anguish. So the cute little dragon towers are going to do a little more damage to the Pentakill Factory. Snowball coming out from Shorty, but not doing anything meaningful there. We do see Shield Bow coming out for both Jolly Boy and Mother Duck, which just allows them to gain a shield every time they get low on health. And Locket of the Iron Solari coming out for Leona, which allows her to shield everybody in the area.
I think what we're slowly starting to see is Charlie and the Pentakill Factory starting to be a little more aware of their macro. And Chale gonna go down right here. Oh man, here comes Nelio and Keylime trying to take down Shorty, but it looks like they can't. Nelio almost down to half health.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think Nelio has gotten a little bit too tanky for these wet noodle fights. versus Chale. Chale basically does no damage to him now, and you know, eventually those that wet noodle damage just adds up, and you know, Nelio being able to outlast Chale's damage and do more damage on his own.
I think the next ideal objective for CPF to take down would be probably to prep for taking down the Baron. But of course, with the opposite teams with full attendance on their roster, you know, it's going to be really hard to take it. So we got to wait for the right moment for them to take down that Baron.
Yeah, so Dragon is up in a couple of seconds. It doesn't look like either team has prepped it. We do see that one ward coming out from the Pentakill factory, but that's just to get sight on the Dragon to see if Team Joe Mama are trying to go for it. So we do see Team Joe Mama coming out to try to kill the Dragon. Team just clearing wards. Nelio does have that teleport, so he is able to join the fight anytime. And we do see the teleport coming in from Chale. Keyline secures the Dragon. We do see Chale going down, and once again that is a victory for Team Joe Mama. Unfortunately, Jolly Boy tries to fight, but gets eaten up by Nelio. And that flash, that was an awesome flash. That might have just saved his life right there. So great flash, Jolly Boy. So, yeah. Oh, Jolly Boy, run! Oh, you can't win.
Jolly Boy is trying to stay in the lane here. Oh, he's done. Ooh.
No. Nelio still chasing Jolly Boy. Oh, Jolly Boy, no! What are you doing? Oh! Oh, Jukes! Mans is still alive. And he dodges the Kaisa flashes and secures the kill onto Jolly Boy. Valiant effort, Jolly Boy. You tried, and that's all that counts.
And again, just great objective control from Team JM over here. Slaying the Dragon, taking down that team fight. Altogether, we're seeing that Team JM is really working as a cohesive team over here. And, you know, Big Buiho and Waka Waka all just staying together there. Sitting together over a campfire, almost starting a team fight yet again. Things looking spicy over here.
Yep, and we do see that Team Joe Mama are just trying to reset. They did get a bunch of gold, and they're going to use that gold to buy more items so they can get more gold. But it looks like they decide to farm the wave some more. Nelio is just chilling. I don't know what he was doing. He was just sitting there. He was just hanging out. But we do see now that Nelio and Big Bui are going back, as well as Trillion. We see the Pentakill factory
starting to prep for Baron.
Prepping Baron.
Ooh, this is gonna look.
Oh, they might be going for it.
Oh snap!
The Team Joe Mama know they're there, so they just back off and kill the ward that Team Pentakill factory just placed down. Oh, Nelio. Oh, Nelio getting suppressed, but he is a big beefy boy.
Jillian coming in to save the game.
Oh, Jolly Boy taking huge damage, getting that ult off, but unfortunately, it was not enough. Unfortunate. Team Joe Momma just have a bunch of tanks. Like Neilio's tanky, Keylime's tanky, Trillion's getting tanky too. So they do have this wall that they can use to protect their carries, Big Booey and Waka Waka. So once again, Team Joe Momma, because of those kills and the objectives, are deciding to reset, buy some more items, try to snowball their lead harder. Neo Zone just clearing out some wards in their jungle.
So CTPF is falling behind here slowly, but what do they need to do now to focus on to see if they can come back here? Do they need to farm more? Do they need to see if they can actually get that Baron or focus on dragons? What should they be doing?
So I think one good way to come back is to try to create picks. So basically, try to get vision in their jungle, and if they see anyone that's maybe alone, they would try to kill everyone. But we do see a team fight here. Huge damage coming out from Jolly Boy and that Yasuo. Chale and Big Booey fighting, but Keylime following the flash over the Dragon Wall and secure the kill onto Jolly Boy. But yeah, so if I was the Pentakill Factory, I would just ward up my jungle and try to see if I can catch members of Team Joe Momma alone. So then I can, get kills, get more gold, and use that to get more items. But we do see the Baron attempt coming out from Team Joe Momma. The Pentakill Factory do know that they're doing it, but unfortunately you cannot get there fast enough to contest.
What are the benefits that you get when you kill a Baron as a team?
Killing Baron allows you to empower your minions in lane. So basically any minion that you were near when you have a Baron buff gets additional health and damage. So if we can go to a lane. Yeah, so basically the minions get bigger, right? We do see the ult coming out from Jolly Boy. Neil is tanky, but I think he will fall in this skirmish. Jolly Boy securing the kill, and that's what I was talking about. Try to see if they can catch the team members from Joe Momma alone and try to kill them to get more gold. So Jolly Boy and Shorty taking that first necessary step to mounting their comeback. Let's see if they can do some more. We do see Malzahar with the Malefic Vision, but it is cleansed by Waka Waka. So that would have been another pick onto Team Joe Momma, but unfortunately Waka Waka did have the cleanse. So Pentakill Factory are trying to take the necessary steps to try to mount this comeback, but Team Joe Momma just have all the answers for them.
Hey Robbie, how long does the Baron buff last? Does it last indefinitely or a specific time?
There is a specific time that it does last for, I think. Oh man, can't remember what the exact time is, but yeah, there's only a specific time. that it does last for. And then the Baron will respawn again after, I think, a period of either 2 minutes, 30 seconds or 3 minutes in the second half of the game, or in the last part of the game.
So, yeah, I'm not sure how long Baron buff lasts, but I think Baron is a 5-minute cooldown, like 5-minute respawn. So, something less than that. We do see Mother Duck coming in with a kill onto Waka Waka. So once again, you know, the Pentakill Factory are taking that necessary step to try to get those picks. Unfortunately, Mother Duck falls at the hands of Keyline, but Shorty and Neozone are still chasing, trying to get this kill onto Keyline. Keyline is tanky. We do see a teleport coming out from Nelio. Will it be enough to save him? He does save him with his ultimate, and unfortunately turn that fight around. Dang. Pentakill Factory just trying their best to get these picks, but like I said before, Team Joe Mama do have all the answers to what the Pentakill Factory is trying to do. Oh, Jolly Boy. Okay, he secures that red buff.
Oh! Keyline going down. Here comes Trillian to save the day. Trillian gonna get the stun on Jolly Boy. Jolly Boy gonna pop his shield here. And Trillian almost down to 0.
Jolly
and
Boy and Chale turning that fight around. Nelio trying to make something of it, but has to flash away. That fight was big for the Pentakill Factory. Like I said, trying to secure those picks, and they just picked off 3 members of Team Joe Mama. We might see the re-engage coming out from Shorty, knocking Nelio up, allowing Jolly Boy to ult, but Nelio going out to safety. I think this is a dragon secured for the Pentakill Factory, and this is when the comeback starts. We do see 3 dragons on both sides, on both teams, so whoever gets that next dragon will have that huge Dragon Soul buff, which will be huge for the Pentakill Factory if they manage to get that.
Can you tell us again what that Dragon Soul buff is exactly, and why is it such a big advantage?
So depending on which element of dragons it is, there's Cloud, there's Inferno, there's Mountain, and there's Ocean. So Inferno Soul gives you additional bonus damage and ability power. Mountain Soul gives you additional health regen, and I think shields. Cloud Drake gives you increased movement speed, and I think Ocean Drake gives you cooldown reduction on your ultimate. So, you know, these Dragon Soul buffs are going to be big for whichever team gets the last dragon. Oh, we see maybe another pick? I don't know. Oh, a Moo flashes out. Kai'Sa's caught out, but she flashes out too. Nunu with the absolute 0. Chale getting damage in the back. Unfortunately, falls to Kai'Sa. That would have been a good pick, but Trillian barely gets out with her life. And that is a 2-for-0 going over to Team Joe Mama there, which translates into a Baron attempt.
I think it's really great too to see Charlie and the Pentakill Factory making these adjustments in their gameplay, but it seems like Joe Mama is starting to really adjust as well to those plays as well. So they're starting to really group up together, not really single each other out. in order to counter those picks.
Exactly, yeah. So League of Legends requires a lot of on-the-spot thinking, and these two teams are showing that they do have good thinking on the spot, right? So the one thing that the Pentakill Factory needed to do to get back into the game was to try to pick off members of Team Joe Mama, but they succeeded for a little while, but we see Team Joe Mama making their own adjustments to try to counter what the Pentakill Factory is trying to do to win this game.
Oftentimes I like to look at League as like a game of chess, right? Where you gotta really think strategically, what is my next move? What do we need to do? And really, we can see that being applicable here. Again, as we see Team Joe Mama just staying together, for example, Big Gleeho. Keyline, I don't think needs anybody because he's just tanky.
Mother Duck! Oh, unfortunately, Keyline lands that bandage toss from downtown.
So I would think that since they just got the Baron, they would use that ability to start pushing these lanes more effectively. But I noticed that they were farming more. Why is that?
Well, so they are pushing the lanes too. So if we take a look, we see that only 3 of them are in the mid lane with the Baron buff, trying to secure this mid tower. But we also see members in the top lane too, using that Baron buff to secure that tower as well. We do see Team Joe Mama using that Baron buff to push and try to kill those towers. So they are backing off, trying to secure that Dragon Soul, which is up in 5 seconds, which I think will go over to Team Joe Mama, unless Mother Duck on Draven heroically steals it with his ultimate, but I don't think that's going to happen. So that is Cloud Soul coming out for Team Joe Mama right there.
Now, I think this is the part where it starts to look a little dangerous for Charlie and the Pentakill Factory. There's another death from... there's another kill for Joe Mama, and it looks like once they start stepping foot inside that base all lottie-dottie like that, that's when it starts to get a little dangerous, and that's where they can really make impacts on inhibs and eventually the Nexus.
Yeah, so we do see that the middle inhibitor has fallen. So that does mean that super minions will spawn in the middle lane for Team Joe Mama, and it looks like they're trying to make a last-ditch effort, but unfortunately, Pentakill Factory don't have enough damage. Trillion almost going out, but we do see the heal coming out for Waka Waka, saving his support. Sometimes the AD carry saves the support too. So yeah, that was nice. Good job, Waka Waka.
Alright, and it looks like we might see a reset here for Team JM. Possibly a preparation for another objective, perhaps, but all in the end, everybody's recalling to base, so it looks like it's going to be another reset to see another day for Team Joe Mama.
So there is another way that the Pentakill Factory can come back from this. So after Dragon Soul has been secured by one team, in 5 minutes, the Elder Dragon spawns, and basically what that does is the Elder Dragon buff executes anyone under 20% health. So if the Pentakill Factory do manage to secure that Elder Dragon, they only have to do 80% of the health of Team Joe Mama. So you know, those fights that we were seeing, they were very close. You know, each person on Team Joe Mama are low, and if they manage to secure that Elder Dragon, then you know those fights could turn to be in favor of the Pentakill Factory.
I don't know if they're gonna have a chance to be able to get that Elder Dragon. They're under siege from all sides, right?
Yeah. So if they can manage to fight them off and turtle a little bit longer, a huge knockup coming out from Shorty, and the ultimate coming out from Jolly Boy. Jolly Boy managed to kill Trillion and Shorty. And like I said, you know, Big Buoy and Neilio, if the Pentakill Factory had Elder Dragon, they would also be dead too. So, you know, just trying to stall for that Elder Dragon coming out in 2 minutes could be a game changer for the Pentakill Factory. We just see the Pentakill Factory just trying to clear out their base of minions and super minions, getting that gold from killing all those minions.
Waka Waka soloing the Baron, I believe.
Oh, he will back off and let his team come in and tank for him. This is also a free Baron for Team Joe Mama.
Unless CPF wants to get the kill on Waka Waka. But all in all, a secure Baron kill for Team JM.
Oh, Mother Duck almost stealing that Baron out. That was very close.
I'll be grading your performance.
It's really interesting too when we see these teams attempt to steal Dragon, they attempt to steal Rift, and they attempt to steal Baron. You know, all in all, it really gets exciting when you do see like a Luxel, you know, from across the map try to steal that objective.
Yep. So Elder Dragon is coming out in 30 seconds. So I think you know, for Team Joe Mama, they have to do a very good job at preparing the vision around it, just so you know, the Pentakill Factory have no shot at actually stealing the Elder Dragon. We do see Neilio pushing out bot lane, trying to cause a distraction. Shorty comes out, and it looks like the Pentakill Factory are going to take out Chale. Neilio is a huge boy right now. He has a bunch of health, and basically the rest of Team Joe Mama secure that Elder Dragon, while the Pentakill Factory have just been chasing Neilio and his big health.
Hey, and shoot fire!
And Team Joe
One
Mama.
turret. There's the other turret, and it's down to the Nexus. CPF doing everything they can to defend against this Nexus, but all in all, it looks like it's about to be a GG. And there is another game for Team J.
Game 2 going out to Team Joe Mama. Good game, Team Joe Mama.
Yeah, Charlie, the Pentakill Factory had a really promising start there. In the very beginning, they were up in gold, they were up in kills, they had a good momentum. But at some point there, it turned around. What was that key moment for Joe Mama to take take this game away from them?
Honestly, I think it was all of those dragon fights. I think Team Joe Mama, you know, secured the dragon vision early, which allowed them to take a lot of favorable fights in securing those dragons. So that's why I say wards save lives, because as we can see from this game, Team Joe Mama put out those wards in the dragon pit, and that allowed them to take the fights that they wanted.
Rovi, do you think they don't have the right composition, the right set of champions that they've selected in this type of scenario? What happened there?
I think team comp could be something that could be worked on, but I think all in all, just seeing how CPF is reacting to all of these changes, I think they need to think more on the spot. But on top of that, we do see that CPF is slowly starting to lose a little bit of that cohesiveness where they use the buddy system, for example, to stay with each other throughout the whole thing. We often see that there's like micro clusters of champs in one area or another area. I think if they could work together and perhaps team fight a little bit more, I think CPF might be able to secure it in the bag.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Also, CPF did opt to try to go for that Wombo Combo Yasuo composition, and we've tried it in like the second week, and you need a lot of communication, a lot of synergy for that composition to work. So I mean, like when we tried it, it didn't work for us. So yeah, you just need a lot of especially in team fights. Because we did see the Shorty and Jolly Boy synergy did come out in the early game with those early snowball and the snowball ganks in mid lane. But once you get to the team fighting phase and there's more than one target that you have to knock up, then you really have to be on your game with the Yasuo comp.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, let's see what adjustments they make. In the meantime, we'll take a quick break while we set up the lobbies and get the game going, and we will be right back.
All up. Hanabi zoning mission out as the playback Highwing. They just don't even care about the Akali as they look for the turrets. Sleepy Trouble Bubble means that Woody is going absolutely nowhere, and Mission gonna get taken out. A triple kill for Unified, and the Aphelios is online.
Three teams are tied for first in the CBLOL. Flamengo Esports, Vorax Liberty, and Pain Gaming have 2 weeks left to sort out who's going to wind up on top. But it's Infinity Gaming currently on top of the LLA. Only 2 weeks left for them as well. In the LCK Challenger League, it's the Gen G Challengers in first place. And finally, the LCS Academy League, where FlyQuest Academy is on top.
The re-engage is ready to go. Destinance connects on a Hanser. Big damage on the back from Yurisa, though, is on the back line, but Hyper is getting low. Big Moonlight Vigil. Is it going to be enough to change it? Palafox has gotten the back line, but FlyQuest are wiped. Palafox is able to get another. That's a triple for Cody's son. Your son gets taken down for a triple for Palafox, but he's going to be dragged down. Hanser and Cody's son, no.
As you can kind of tell, we're nearing the end of a lot of these group stages. In the next few weeks, we'll start to see playoffs and even results on which teams will make it to the next Worlds. Now let's check out Dota real quick. Not a lot this week, but fortunately there are a bunch more tournaments coming soon to fill the gap between now and the next international. In the meantime, the Bix Invitational got through their group stage and secured the top 4 teams heading into the playoffs.
Nice RP counter initiation, but the Conjun's Embrace is there. Ursa takes a lot of damage from that Inksoul. He's not even going to get that Enrage off. And Mamundaya, if we know Mamundaya, we know how aggressive this man is, and Honno drops the GG tree. He's accepted. He's accepted his fate.
Again, not a lot of Dota this week, but we'll have more going on next week to cover. Let's jump on over to Valorant now, where most of the VCT regions were on a hiatus this week, but the Korea challengers played through the single elimination stage and started working on their groups.
That doesn't catch much there with that guiding light. Nano Swarm going to be used to buy a little bit more time, and there's a Lau again with the knives. One more to go. Right click misses. Yunny takes him down, but Yunny takes another one here. He wants to dash in. I don't think he has enough time on the clock, but he can maybe get the finish. He gets the kill onto Solo. Gonna grab the gun and run.
He makes it out too.
Wow.
He's actually gonna be able to recover that, so they don't get the round win, but paranoid about it, thinking that maybe there could be somebody behind. Are they ready for the close angle check though? Look at the opposite way. Double peek comes in. Exy will find 2. Throws out the flash, tries to jump across, but will get clipped through the wall by Excel. Just fell a little bit too low.
More VCT regions start back up next week, and there are a ton of those. Make sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date. Moving on now to Counter-Strike, we have 3 events all finished up this week. Starting with the FunSpark Ulti Asia, where Team NKT defeated Wings Up Gaming to become the Season 2 champions. We also had the Pinnacle Cup number 2 finish up on Friday. Team Spirit taking down Endpoint in the finals.
Dexter gets his kill to AUG, not ready to strike until right about now. Gets through at least. Mezzi responds towards it, but needs to get a bomb down. In a 4-on-2 scenario, he'll body block the sprays back here past the smokes itself. It's retake on the Spirit.
Oh, Crucial so low. They both go out to the cave position, and there's smokes. They could just get onto the bomb straight away.
And they could. Smoke on towards cave in particular. Crucial's going to wait. The bomb's not planted for him. Mezzi might have to go for wallbang sprays through the wood wall itself. Wait for his moment as they tap forward. Bomb defuse. Bomb defuse. Mezzi's not on it. It's so far off. It's a ninja for Spirit.
And the big one, IEM Season 16, $400,000 on the line, and it's Gambit Esports versus Na'Vi in the finals.
At least a little chance.
Oh, the double nades, the double nades,
it's
no!
absolutely brutal, look at their health!
Molly, they're gone!
It's over! It's all over! There's nothing left of them! Their hopes and dreams departed a few rounds ago, but their bodies are leaving the server now. Last few voices in this conversation are Jackson Amanek, but Na'Vi, another one, just by a gnat's wing in regulation. They can do it right here and now. Na'Vi looking to become the champions of the first LAN back. Boomage gets the info as well. He's not hanging around. He's not interested in any of that. Up the top vent, Perfecto's waiting. And there you have it. A 1v5 demanded of Amanek. The impossible. It's not happening. Na'Vi, that's brilliant.
Na'Vi with the 3-0 victory there takes home the IEM Cologne Trophy. Let's head on to Overwatch now, where there were also some big results from the Overwatch League as the Summer Showdown finished their tournament weekend.
But Evital and Amok have gone down already. This is not good at all. For the Hunters, they've lost that mobility, and now the Dragons could clamber all over them. Flatter has them corralled back in the corner, and this is getting out of hand. About 80% for the Dragons, and they're not done. Yeah, one team fight to rule them all. It's time to go. Leaf has a pulse bomb there, but he's pressured down and has to recall a little earlier than he would have liked. He forces Void away, and his mind's on the point here. That lets the Hunters get back in control to a degree. Fate goes over the edge. Flatter's hacked. Oh, no! Not like this, Chengdu, no!
Shanghai Dragons taking down the Chengdu Hunters 4-1 there in the finals. We also had some Overwatch Contenders action in North America and Europe.
For the Reinhardt to just walk forward and press Q, but I think weaving this in is going to need a little bit of finesse.
Oh, they don't even need to weave it in, Rose. This is what the Symmetra enables. A beautiful TV there from Raspberry Racers. They get Doge through all of those abilities, find the shatter, and set Raspberry Racers up for success.
Good lord, Doge.
To rotate with the shield, they get onto the high ground, they try to isolate Switch in the process, photon barrier like you mentioned, but with that blizzard down below, you can see Mikey just trying to hold the front line, the immortality field saving him, but he's low here, and Ice getting this beam on Lux, fully charged here, dealing so much damage, doesn't even need the barriers when you're being able to melt these tanks. Nobody left from Odyssey, and Dark Mode win, moving on to the winners finals.
We'll have the final results from those brackets next week. Now on to Rainbow Six Siege, where the group stages kept on coming. Let's jump into all the different regional leagues going on. Brasileiro finished up this week with Team Liquid taking first place on the leaderboards. In North America, Space Station Gaming is currently on top.
Mizzou going to get some solid info as to where the other two remaining members of Beast Coast are. Doesn't want to try and use this hologram as of right now, and you can't necessarily blame him if he goes for it right now. More than likely in a lot of trouble, but do they have the prevention from down low?
Welcome back, everyone. We are on to our Game 3. With that win, Joe Momma actually ties for the first place in standings and has a chance here with Game 3 to take over sole possession of first place. But I think CTPF might have something to say about it. And, you know, Rovi, what do you think that what adjustments have they made in this bans and picks to be able to see if they can get this Game 3 win?
Honestly, we do see some lessons being learned here with that set ban and Ash ban. Honestly, things are looking pretty good here. I'm really hoping that CTPF can take this one home, especially because, you know, we haven't seen a 3-0 yet, and I really would hate to see CTPF being the first one to be 3-0'd. But I think, you know, one thing that they are improving on here as well is just working as a team in general as well. I think that's one thing that they would step up, especially in this game right here.
Barely Noah, anything that stands out to you in terms of what they've selected as the champions here?
So we do see the teams decide to not ban out the best person's champion. We do see Neilio on his Swain. We finally get to see Neilio on his Swain, which I'm very excited for. And we do see Chale on his fabled LeBlanc. I'm very excited to see which one of these guys can, carry their team harder in this Game 3. Also, we do see the Vayne coming out from Mother Duck, which is also another hyper carry, and Nasus coming out for Oyolicious. And basically with Nasus, every time he kills a minion or anything with his Q, he gets additional damage on it. So if this game goes long enough, then Nasus has the ability to literally one-shot anyone on the side of Team Joe Momma. So I am very, very, very excited for that.
So in terms of team adjustments here, would you say that CTPF needs to stick together more or just not go by themselves out in the map?
I would say so. I feel like with Chale on LeBlanc, he does like to roam to get his lanes ahead. So I'm really looking to see the impact that Chale has on this game. Just because, with LeBlanc being as mobile as she is, she can be anywhere, literally in the jungle, in the top lane, in the bottom lane. So Team Joe Momma has to have their wards down at all times to try to counter Chale on his LeBlanc.
Rovi, somebody says on the chat that CPF's lineup here, the champion lineup, is more made up for a late game comp. Why is that?
I can definitely see that happening, especially because, man, I've heard so many stories about Diana, especially. Like, I hear a lot of stories that, you know, Diana is just really powerful. And even more so in the late game when we start looking forward to these full builds, to these full skills as well. Once we start to see all that play out, I think, you know, especially seeing from how Mr. Barely Noah over here got really excited over these one tricks coming out. I think we're definitely down to see a fight here, and this late game comp, if it does end up going to late game, I think we'll see some very juicy action coming up here.
Exactly, and also the Vayne, Mother Duck on the Vayne, is also a very late game champion. It takes a while for Vayne to get her items. She's not very good in the early game, but man, once she gets those items, literally, she's gonna do tons of damage. And yeah, Nasus, like, I just want to see Nasus just like one-shot someone. That would be so fun.
At what point do you start seeing that he starts one-shotting? Is it a specific level or a specific set of items that he's acquired?
So usually at around maybe 35, 40 minutes into the game, that usually gives Nasus enough time to farm that damage on his Q, and by that point, then he'll be able to literally start one-shotting anything that's in his way. So hopefully it goes that long. I know it's a lot to ask for, but, you know, man can hope.
Alright, good luck, have fun. It's been said on the chat. I think we're on to our game 3. Let's see if CPF takes this third game to avoid a sweep.
Oh, I kind of want to see this early invade here.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
They are spotted out by the ward, which they do manage to kill. So that is an early gold lead for Jolly Boy on that Nautilus. 15 gold, but it's still 15 gold that Team Joe Mama does not have.
Minions have spawned.
Now I'm looking forward to see the technicalities of each champion really play out here. And I'm really looking forward to see what CPF has up their sleeve. I know that, you know, getting beat up this bad is definitely reason to come back with a vengeance, and I think, you know, CPF hopefully can get it back here.
Well, we do see Keyline trying to steal out that red buff. Diana
nice
smiting
steal.
it away from Keyline. Oh, Keyline flashing away. Oh, Chale
flashing for it
with the auto, and gets the first blood. There's the Diana, or there's the LeBlanc coming up big for Chale. I think Team Joe Mama got a little bit too greedy with that fight, trying to steal out the red buff from the Pentakill factory, and they pay heavily for that, with a kill going on to Chale's LeBlanc. So with this bot lane, we're not really looking for a bunch of action early, just because it does take Vayne a little bit of time to get items and get online. Well, Nasa's getting bullied out by the Malzahar. Malzahar has no mana now because he's just been trying to harass Nasus, but Nasus can just go back to base and then just teleport back if he wants to. That LeBlanc damage coming up. She did. Oh man. LeBlanc got a Dark Seal, ladies and gentlemen. That means she's going to be looking to snowball on this game, try to get as many kills as possible, try to get her lanes fed. So I'm very excited for that.
Ooh, Chale nearly landing that skill shot.
Again, we want to thank you all the viewers who's joined us tonight to watch these games. You know, you're supporting a good cause, and you know what better way to do it is doing something that you enjoy doing anyway, watching and playing video games. So thank you again for the viewers. Make sure you stay tuned until the very end. That helps our average viewership numbers up.
So Nasus managing to keep up in farm versus the Malzahar, even though he is taking a little bit of damage. You know, a hook from Jolly Boy, exhaust coming out. The flash coming out from Jolly Boy. So that did look like a good fight to take. But
here comes again from Key Lime. Oh, Chale down to half health. Which one's the real Chale?
Oh, that's the wrong one. Just kidding.
Oh.
So tell us about that spell by LeBlanc. So LeBlanc creates a mirage image of herself?
Yes, so that's her passive ability when she gets down to a certain health. I think it's maybe 20%. She creates like a clone that has a mind of its own. You can't control it, but it walks like the opposite direction of the real LeBlanc. So sometimes
some pretty handy ability there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Nelio knocking down Chale's health.
Does Chale want to go back in? Unfortunately, he does not. We do see the Diana here for the gank. Ooh, Key Lime coming out with the early dragon. Once again, that focus on the early objectives coming out from Team Joe Momma. Nasus keeping up in farm versus the Malzahar. Let's see how much he has on his Q. He has 39 stacks on his Q. Which is pretty good for 6 minutes, so I'm really excited for this Nasus to come online later in the game. There is a small early minion lead in the mid lane, going over to Nelio, but it's only like 9 minions, so game's still early. But
yeah, we've seen a trend here where CTPF takes an early advantage, right? But by mid game to late game, they relinquish that advantage and eventually turns to a Joe Momma victory. But from what you guys are saying, if they have an early advantage here and they have a good late game comp, this might be very good for CTPF, right?
Exactly, and I think that's one of the things that the Pentakill Factory realized. They were like, oh, maybe, you know, where we do great early game, but it's just the late game that we have trouble on. So maybe we should draft, you know, like a late game composition to, you know, help mitigate the trouble that we have during the late game.
I think one thing that's really hard in the league too is that once you get the ball rolling right, it's hard to keep the momentum going. And oftentimes that'll lead to a downfall of the team when that momentum just falls out of nowhere.
Yeah, from what I've seen and noticed is sometimes an entire game turns on its head is during a specific engagement, whether it being in a dragon or a baron, where they're all in the middle, but then all of a sudden one team just, it snowballs. They kill one, they kill the second one, they kill the third, and from there on, it's hard to recover.
Exactly. That's why these like dragon fights, these Rift Herald fights, these Baron fights, these like big objective fights are very important in securing. Oh, Chale! Oh, Nelio! Oh, that was a very exciting fight. Oh, the flash!
Oh!
And unfortunately, LeBlanc distorts away with her life. That was a very close fight. The Seraphine ultimate coming out onto Jolly Boy with Waka Waka securing the kill. Oyolicious falling behind in farm now. He is having a little bit of trouble farming under the tower and being harassed by Big Buoy on the Malzahar. CS lead still on Nelio over Chale.
So when I was playing this, one time, how do you know, or when do you decide to go back and heal up, or just stay on? Right? What is the balance to make that decision?
So usually, the biggest thing is if you're low, like we see Nasus here, Oyolicious on Nasus. He doesn't have that much health, so it would be wise for him to go back to base and return to lane after he's healed up, just so Big Buoy doesn't kill him. Also, another thing to keep in mind is where the minion wave is. So if you have a big minion wave that's moving into your side of the map, then it would be a bad idea to base, just because that minion wave, you're gonna lose all those minion kills, all that gold, all that EXP. We do see a teleport coming in from Nelio after Mother Duck secured that. Oh, Nelio going very low, takes out Jolly Boy and Mother Duck in that gank. We see the Rift Herald coming out in the mid lane. But yeah, basically, if there's a big minion wave that's going to you, you don't want to back, because if you back, then your tower is going to get those minions, and that experience and that gold that you would get from them, you'd lose that if you went back. So you gotta see how the minion wave is moving. Chale getting picked off there, unfortunately. And then Team Joe Momma securing another dragon. Yeah, so it looks like Team Joe Momma has this early advantage, but that's to be expected, just because Team Pentakill Factory are looking for that late game in this game.
I think something that's interesting to note here as well is that when you do end up choosing a build or a team comp for the late game, if the other team decides to build for the early game, who's the advantage at that point, right?
We do see Waka Waka getting caught out, and Mother Duck getting that kill. Oh, getting out with his life, Jolly Boy, trying to keep her busy. Melio getting ganked by Shorty, eventually falls to Chale. Oyolicious still having a little bit of trouble farming in the top lane versus Big Buoy.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Rosie. I mean, how do you balance, or which one is more advantageous, right? I mean, it looks like Team Joe Mama is really building for the early game here, getting the 2 dragons, right, and getting a gold lead. But at what point does CTPF get to start taking that advantage back, right? I mean, it's late game, but when does that late game start happening here?
So I think the late game starts happening when Vayne starts getting her item. She does have 2 kills on her right now, so that late game might come a little bit quicker for the Pentakill Factory. Although Nasus hasn't been farming that well, he's still gonna be able to have an impact later in the game.
Those 2 dragons really provide a good boost for your team, right?
Yes. So the individual dragons, they provide like a small boost, but it's really that dragon soul that really gives you like the big buff. We do see Jolly Boy almost getting picked off, but was able to flash away. Stacks Nasus has. He has 102 stacks so far, which is okay. Not bad. Oh, Chale getting locked down. Oh, Oyolicious! Unfortunately, falls to Big Buoy in the top lane. The turn and burn from Shorty and Jolly Boy. Mother Duck coming in. Shorty securing that kill. Shorty going for Trillion. Mother Duck secures that. The Swain is there. Melio trying to get as much as he can, trying to kill that Vayne. Waka takes out Mother Duck. Shorty lives. Wow, Nelio is making his presence known in the game by turning that fight all the way over in the favor of Team Joe Mama right there.
Yeah, that was a beautiful, team response by Nelio there. I think one thing that we've seen so far from the past 2 games that we're seeing again in this game is that, Nelio can really flex down to save the day. And that's something that's really beautiful that I see going on here.
Exactly. And I think Chale has been trying to roam and get his lanes fed, but has not been very successful in that regard. Dragon is up. Team Joe Mama is there. Chale trying to steal out that rift scuttler. Ooh, Waka with the Q poke. Chale going very low. Oh, the steal coming out from the Shorty. Fortunately, he loses his life in the process.
That was a pretty good steal there.
It was.
But do you think it's worth it to lose, to be taken out there at that point?
To be honest, just because they are a late game team, I think it was worth it. Just because if they did not steal that dragon, then Team Joe Mama would only need one dragon left to get the Dragon Soul. So that could make it possible for Team Joe Mama to not even bring this game to the late game. So I think that was good. Chale trying to take out Big Buoy, but unfortunately does not hit. Mother Duck stunning Key Lime. Chale dodging out the abilities. Ooh, Waka Waka with these snipes. Oh, Chale with the flash, unfortunately gets suppressed by Big Buoy and can't distortion back.
Wow, this is actually really crazy because it's only 20 minutes in and we're already down to the mid inhib. Man, I think Team Joe Mama is really just trying to take this one home early and just live up to that early game, you know, build. And man, I'm honestly at a loss for words here. 20 minutes in and we're already on the enemy territory. I mean, pretty good job for Team JM over here.
Exactly. But I believe in the Pentakill Factory. I do want to see some late game League of Legends with the Vayne and the Nasus and the LeBlanc. So I'm really hoping that you know, Team Pentakill Factory do manage to survive until the late game. You know, Vayne already has her Kraken Slayer out. She's looking to build more items on top of that. You know, Diana already has her rocket belt. But Team Joe Mama, they already have their 2 Leandries and a Sunderer over on their team. So we'll see where this one goes.
Yeah, and like you said, I really want to see CPF also take this one back as well. But you know, CPF is gonna have to start doing some objectives. We see that, you know, since it's past 20 minutes, I think you know, this would be a really good time to start really taking care of those objectives. But then again, there comes a question of, you know, at what point do I focus on objectives? And at what point do I focus on, you know, the lane that's being pushed at the current moment? I know oftentimes that's what can really be what can really throw off a lot of people.
Trillion gets blown up by Chale, but they do trade Oyolicious and the double kill onto the Pentakill Factory. Mother Duck coming in for the cleanup. Oh, the Vayne damage coming online. Keyline flashes for Mother Duck and manages to take him out. And Keyline scores an ace for Team Joe Mama. And that was a 4v5 too, because Neilio wasn't even in that fight. So, you know, Team Joe Mama looking really good, in really good position for this game. Keyline putting out a ward, because wards save lives.
And they're back with a vengeance. I think they learned their lesson from the show match, and they're like, we don't want that to happen again. They're pushing really hard for this one.
Yeah, it's becoming a recurring theme here, where it's really all about the engagement. And the engagements that they've had, Team Joe Mama seems to come up on top every single time.
I think there are some moments too where we see, I think, CPF overcommitting. And I think overcommitting would be great for a early build team or early game team. But you know, I think when it comes to the question of late game versus early game, I think this is where early game really starts to shine. You can really push all these objectives really hard in the early game.
Yeah, so you do see another dragon coming over to Team Joe Mama. Oh, the assassination from Chale just instantly deletes Waka Waka. But Chale doing a good job trying to get something out of nothing from that fight by taking out Waka Waka. Vayne, Mother Duck on the Vayne, just keeps on farming, trying to get those items out. He is starting to get a little bit scary. Oyolicious taking tower shots.
Yeah, I think we're really seeing JM push for that early game because and I think Kezi really pointed it out really well here in the chat. You know, JM's trying to finish it mid-game because they don't want the late game, and I think that's really important to note here.
They are going for this Baron. Just the three of them with Nelio applying pressure in the bottom lane, just so Tentacle Factory have to respond to the pressure and they can't contest the Baron. Oh, Mother Duck forced to flash away from Nelio. Jolly Boy missed, but Nelio with the Zhonya's Hourglass trying to kill Mother Duck. Mother Duck goes back in and loses his life. Unfortunate.
So Nelio soloing there, taking out two heroes while his entire team is, got the Baron. Right? That's
exactly. Nelio has been huge for Team Joe Mama tonight. Delicious teleporting in and forced to go back. Inhibitors falling.
Looks really grim here for Team CTPF, and looks like we're gonna have our first 3-0 of the season.
Oh, we do get a pick from Jolly Boy, but Big Buoy flashes out to safety. So once again, Team Joe Mama spreading out their Baron buff, so then they get maximum value. Waka Waka with a snipe, taking out Jolly Boy. Trillion taking out Oyolicious, and that will be the third inhibitor for Team Joe Mama. Chale going out. Nelio getting saved by his Zhonyas.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
GG to Team Joe Mama. Good games.
Joe Mama the first to get the 3-0 in this entire series.
Unfortunately, we did not see the late game Vayne or Nasus, but great job to Team Joe Mama in preventing the late game composition from coming online for Team Charlie and the Pentakill Factory.
Yeah, it's a good move there by Team Joe Mama. They know that it's a late game comp, and so you know that's the best way to put pressure is to try to finish it before they get there. And as you guys said, these heroes that they've selected are not very adept in early game, right? And it takes them a while to ramp up. And if I was Team Joe Mama, I would have done the same, right? Try to see if you can win it early to mid game and not let it get there. But looks like one of the things that I saw there was Swain, Nelio, soloing on the bottom lane there, and even taking out two heroes himself, and allowing his entire team to get the Baron buff. Right? Tell me about that. How was that possible?
Yeah, so Swain's ultimate gives him health over time, and with his item Zonia's Hourglass, he's able to go invulnerable for a bit. So like at the same time he's invulnerable, he's also getting that health back from his ultimate. So that allows him to, deal damage and sustain that long fight. Getting the squishies, the squishy champions from Team Pentakill Factory killed there.
Well, joining us now is a representative from Team Joe Mama, who got the first 3-0 of the season. So congratulations for that 3-0. Our commissioner, Key Lime, how did you guys manage to get that 3-0 tonight?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. I think it was just really a good overall team game from us. We were constantly communicating. We know Robert is a strong jungler, so that first game we wanted to make sure to deny him. Whenever Charlie was top in those first 2 games, again we wanted to focus our ganks on him. Just this was a complete team effort where again we chose people to deny. We communicated and made sure we had sight on them at all times and moved accordingly.
Congratulations. Do you guys have any questions here for Key Lime?
Yeah, so I have a question for you. So, like as a jungler, with your lanes, how they are, like how did you decide to throw out your ganks? I mean, like obviously, you have Nelio there. He's a very strong laner, and Big Booey and Waka Waka. Like how do you prioritize which lanes you gank with like 3 like strong laners?
So that's kind of the beauty of having such strong laners. They all pretty much do well, and so I'm not typically a jungler, so throughout the whole time I'm like, where should I go, and so like I said, it goes back to that team effort. It again, for the first couple of games I wanted to make sure that Charlie knew that we were watching him, so I came up there early. But apart from that, it was really just me asking them where should I go, and it worked out.
Yeah. So follow-up question, I know you did gank Charlie early a couple of times. Do you think you got in his head a bit and kind of psyched him out with those early ganks? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. That was my intention, but Charlie's a pretty cool-headed guy, so I don't know if I really got into his head like that.
Cool.
Rovi, do you have any questions here for your next opponent, Key Lime?
Oh gosh.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys on Team Jam really looked like you had everything composed. You guys were pushing every objective very well. It looked like you guys had a very cohesive team. Was there any moment during the past 3 games where you guys questioned any pushes or any ganks or anything like that? Was there any moment of uncertainty that you guys had?
Absolutely. I tend to get full of myself whenever I'm like doing like even decently well. So there were moments where I'd go, kind of crazy and just. I think you saw it last game. I found myself on like at their blue buff, and Oyo ulted me, and then I just died instantly. And the team, and I'm really happy that my team doesn't make me feel bad, even though I know it's a bad decision and all that. We kept a cool head. I usually get tilted, especially facing against Charlie's LeBlanc, but I have a good team behind me, and it was kind of that team effort that led to that.
Yeah, I mean, from a newbie's point of view, it's so obvious that how well your team functioned together. You guys had good synergy. And you guys even helped out each other. And there's so many instances where one of your players were in trouble, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, 2 Joe Mama team members show up and save them, right? And those were key moments in the game. and enough of those were enough to really snowball into a victory for Joe Momma. So it's a really good teamwork, and I want to commend you guys. Congratulations.
On that note, there was this crazy play. I just want to give this a shout out. There was this crazy play that I found myself in a position where I definitely had no business being in, and Neil TPs with his Tom Kench and eats me before I die, and then we were able to turn around like a 1v.
I do remember that. I knew you were about to be eliminated there, but all of a sudden, for me, you disappeared. I'm like, wait, where did he go? But I don't see him being killed. And so I was wondering myself, and then all of a sudden you came out of his mouth or something, and it was a really good save there. And those little things, and you put them all together, and I'm not surprised you guys had the 3-0 tonight. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was just shout out to my team. Will, your Lux was incredible. That Varus game and the Kaiser games from Joe. You already know Neil did crazy well. Lauren had the damage like on lock throughout all of the games, and then Ilian's Leona game was crazy for us too. So shout out to them. But,
so what do you guys have to say to each other, since you guys will be facing each other off in the next game, which is the first game in August? Without revealing any new strats, barely know us, a team captain. Anything you want to say to Team Joe Momma here?
I just want to say that you guys are awesome, and I hope you guys aren't scared. And you guys are awesome, and I hope you guys aren't scared of spiders.
Oh gosh. We'll bring like a fly swatter or something.
All right, so like I said, next broadcast will be August 2nd. That'll be Monday night. This is going to continue on for the next 2 weeks on August for regular season. And right now, as it stands, Team Joe Momma is has the sole possession for first place. But like I said, it's still early. Things are still can get wacky, right? If Team SFC Telecom gets a 3-0 next Monday, you never know. But just make sure you guys tune in Monday nights, Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Even if you're eating dinner, if you're just just chilling, just keep the stream on, and it'll really help us out. And again, it's for a good cause. This is our Angkop fundraiser. This is LAS, standing for League Angkop Series. And I want to thank all of those who were watching. Thanks for all of those who tuned in, and even those who came in briefly and dropped off. I really appreciate you guys coming. And of course, I want to thank our casters here, doing an excellent job. Barely Noah and Rovi. Thank you. This is your second gig around. Thank you for coming, and I'm looking forward for future casts by you guys again. Thank you to our commissioner here, Key Lime, and our victory. So he's got to wear 2 hats here. So, and thank you to Sidestorm Gaming, to KJ Freedom there, taking control of our production. Everything was on point tonight. Thank you, and thank you for Angkop. And with that said, we'll see you guys next week. Good games.
Bye, everybody.